for more music from the cast of Frankenstein, How to Make a Monster. Please welcome Amanita, Glitch, Wizard, Native, ABH and Grove.
Click, click, clack, snap, snap. Chat, these screens are weapons, but you really shouldn't post that. We use devices as shields as we wield them over others' lives, validated by shares and likes. Click, click, clack, snap, snap. Chat, these screens are weapons, but you really shouldn't post that. We use devices as shields as we wield them over others' lives, validated by... Click, click.
We are Generation Anonymous.
Click, click.
Generation Anonymous.
Click, click.
Generation Anonymous.
Click, click.
Click, click. Oh.
Seeming connected is more important than being connected. Sign in, sign on, so I don't feel neglected. Ain't got a BPC on my PC, you can't touch me. I'm protected by anonymity.
We are Generation Anonymous.
Click, click.
Generation Anonymous.
Click, click.
Generation Anonymous.
Click, click.
Click, click. Oh.
Click, click, clack, snap, snap. Chat, these screens are weapons, but you really shouldn't post that. We use devices as shields, we wield them over others' lives, validated by shares and likes. Click, click, clack, snap, snap. Chat, these screens are weapons, but you really shouldn't post that. We use devices as shields, we wield them over others' lives, validated by shares and likes. Everybody's trying to trace their roots, just look at the youth. You can see the sad, sad truth, they're stuck inside personal prisons, living their lives through screens no bigger than 5.5. Trading sunshine for online anytime. A whole generation unwilling to go outside. A whole generation unwilling to go outside. Click, click, clack, snap, snap. Chat, these screens are weapons, but you really shouldn't post that. We use devices as shields, we wield them over others' lives, validated by shares and likes. Click, click, clack, snap, snap. Chat, these screens are weapons, but you really shouldn't post that. We use devices as shields as we wield them over others' lives, validated by shares and likes.
Well, let's find out more about the show from Artistic Director Conrad Murray and performers Amanita and Glitch, Amanita Francis and Nadine Rose Johnson. Let's have a round of applause for them. Thank you very much. That sounded great, thank you. So Conrad, you're all up from London, Battersea Arts Centre, it's this Beatbox Academy. Tell us a little bit more about this.
Beatbox Academy is going for 10 years. And like, it's a place where anyone can come if you've got any music lessons or if you haven't had any instrument lessons or complain, anyone can come and just jam, make up beats, make up sounds, local kids from the estates, local kids from local youth centres, and just make music, basically. And these guys have been coming for 9 and 8 years, 9 years, 8 years.
Amazing.
And like, we've been doing that same thing in Leaf Academy. So we've been like doing the same sort of thing there, but where anyone can come along and just make music and jam. Yeah.
And Amanita, tell us a little bit about, because actually I think people will be amazed. It's that thing, depending on how far back in the audience are sitting or watching on television or listening to radio, that is all, there's no actual played music there or instruments, because it's incredible how lifelike it sounds.
Yeah, it's all from the mouth. It's 100% a cappella, and that's beatbox.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been coming for so long now, like I said, 8 years, 9 years. We've honed our craft, and yeah, we imitate instruments, but all from the mouth. And you know, a lot of us didn't have the opportunity to have a full drum kit in our bedrooms.
Of course.
You know, and a lot
quite
of people
good for
don't.
the neighbours as well, actually. Let's face it.
All the time next door, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's And if you've been doing 9 and 8 years, don't mind me asking, you must have been very, very... Were you little when you joined, Nadine?
Yes, I was really young. 2010, so I was 14, 15 years old. And I actually came along with my older brother because he was interested in beatboxing and I needed something to do. And as soon as I came, I was hooked. So even when my brother grew up and started doing his own thing and working, I still carried on coming.
And what was it that
week.
hooked you in then? What was it that appealed to you?
Well, I always had an interest in music.
Yeah.
But there was this sense of like community without commitment. You wasn't forced to come. It was like, come if you like. There was a social aspect to it, but also there was no judgment. There was people from different backgrounds, races, genders, and there was no divide.
Yeah.
Which, it makes you feel like at home.
I mean, these projects are fantastic. I just wonder, has it been difficult to sustain it, or do you get plenty of funding and all of that? Because, I mean, the ripple effect for this in terms of people's lives is so profound.
I think, like, you know, we do get funding, but even at times when in between projects there's no funding, we're like a community, so we keep going.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids, they come to make friends, you know, to cuss each other out and eat chips at the fish and chip shop,
Yeah.
but also to make music. And it's a place just to come and chill and, like, support each other, and just, as I say, like, get along and somewhere to go and be told, like, you're good at something. Because, you know, some kids have been kicked out of school, they're improved and stuff, but they come to Beatbox Academy and maybe they're sick at doing hi-hats. I'm like, yo, you're bad, man. And it's one place where they can go where it's something they're really good at.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, it's not been hard because I love it. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to come and keep doing it. And even when there's not been scheduled session, we still meet up because, you know,
It's fun.
Well, yeah, what else am I going to do? You know?
Yeah.
But also, it's been like my job and my career. So I've been quite lucky. And now these guys are on at the Traverse, which was mad. This is the first time ever in the festival.
Wow.
And I didn't even know, to be honest, I didn't know what the Traverse was.
And now you've learned about it. I mean, it's such a prestigious venue with such a long history, and particularly of writing, which makes me think of, you know, tell us a little bit about the process, because it's not like, you know, Conrad comes along and goes, this is what we're doing. You guys are integral to it, aren't you? Tell us more about that.
Well, we wanted to make a show, and so we had a couple of brainstorms about what it could be about, and then Conrad gave us like some stimulus words to kind of evoke some emotion, and part of our practice is making improvised music on the spot, so we would use the stimulus to make some songs up, and we'd record them, and we ended up making the songs from the show, and it was like a 2-year process, really, kind of doing some scratch runs, asking feedback from audience members and artistic directors and things like that, and now it's fully realised.
Yeah.
These guys can improvise, and we could improvise all the time. If you gave us anything, we could just improvise.
That is amazing, because lots of people, seasoned performers, have been doing theatre for years. They couldn't do that. And I think from that you can do anything. So tell us about Frankenstein, because there we go, there's a story that's been around for so long. People feel they know it. What is your angle on it?
So I think our angle on it initially was beatbox is the oldest form of music. We think, you know, that the oldest instrument that existed was just our voices. The first instrument. And so we wanted to retell an old story with an even older medium, which is beatbox and the vocals. And so our take on Frankenstein is the modern monster. A monster today doesn't necessarily have, you know, 1 million arms and 10 eyes. It can be the person on the other end of the phone. It could be the person you see online, or even people in our current political climate, you know. So I
didn't want to say that, so yeah.
We wanted to touch in on that because I think there's a lot of connotations that come from the word monster, and we don't necessarily apply it to our current society, and that's what this show does.
Yeah.
The book's also a lot about science and about man's connection with science and morality. And I think that we've got a lot of new technology now, and it's changing the way that we interact. And we do have this kind of question of, like, how are we connecting to science and also to each other as humans? So there's loads of really cool themes. And also, Mary Shelley wrote that book when she was 18.
I know,
200 years
amazing.
ago.
She was a teenager.
100 years of suffrage. And we thought, what a great thing to tie it together. And these guys are 2 female writers, sick, young. So we thought, what a great book to kind of connect with, you know, today.
Yeah, I mean, it is incredible. You think beatbox and Mary Shelley, you think, yeah, there's no connection, but actually just think of her as a teenage writer, apart from anything else, the power of that,
Mary Shelley would be
vision as a young woman.
She'd be a sick beatboxer now, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that before, but I am now. And so tell us a little bit about working with the folks from the Academy in Edinburgh. How has that been working? What kind of response have you had?
At first, I think they're a bit like, yo, who are these guys from London? What are they doing? But actually, like, you know, we're similar. Like, I recognise the characters. All the characters are the same, you know what I'm saying? And like, what is this? And they're like, we're going to be doing some sounds, we're writing some lyrics. And then the kids just, you know, they're talented, man. And they hadn't beatboxed before, but they could rap. We've got Martha. We've got a group of girls who are making a rap called Nay Bad. I'm like, what's Nay Bad? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Nay Bad. And it's like, they're saying, like, you know, all these different things, Nay Bad. You know, and so we're learning about their lingo that possibly in a way they wouldn't have done before.
Have you also, you were talking about chips in London, but have you also done the salt and sauce thing in Edinburgh then with the chips?
I haven't tried it yet, but they've been telling me about that and tatties as well.
Tatties?
Yeah,
tatties with everything.
The tatties nay bad. I'm like, what are you saying? But to have the people, those guys from Leaf performing on stage at the Trav, is sick because we're sharing that platform, and so I'd never heard of the Trav before.
Yeah.
But they have, but they've never been there before.
Yeah.
So the opportunity to be there on that stage with us, rocking their lyrics in their Scottish lingo is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Because it's all these international people from around the world get to experience some guys from Leith doing their stuff. So, man, we've been working on the international festival, and it's been so sick for that. I get excited from them to dropping their lyrics each night, coming on stage, and
sure.
the audience go nuts.
Different show every time. And what's the response been like from audiences then? Because the show's on pretty early, isn't it? And you've got a fair bit of audience interaction. Do you need to warm them up a bit at first, or what?
When we have a 10 a.m. show, it's
early.
It's early. But every single night we've had such a great response from the audience. We've been sold out on a couple of nights and almost sold out on the other nights. And there's just this flood of people like, this is amazing. It's so good that you got the curtain raisers. How do you do it? What's the process? So every day we don't get to leave straight away. Yeah. We get a nice little bombardment of compliments.
Oh, that's great.
Which is, it's
how
really
how are
ego-boosting.
energy levels overall, Amanita? Because the Fringe can be exhilarating but also exhausting.
Well, the energy for the audiences has been consistent. It's been amazing.
You're not
every time we've performed, whether it's 10 a.m. or 10 p.m., the audiences have brought the energy, and we always have a bit of participation in the audience as well. But if you want to be part of that, you've got to come and see the show.
Excellent. Well, it's been absolutely brilliant talking to you and hearing what you do. Thank you very much indeed. Good luck with the run. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll just remind you, Frankenstein, How to Make a Monster's on at the Traverse throughout the Fringe. So let's hear it for Conrad, Amanita and Nadine. Music now from Bettina and Philippa Cassar.